Well, if you're curious enough that you came and checked out my offline recording, I hit the stop button with my finger. When you are recording it offline, you can pause it. I thought I could pause the broadcast, which, no, you can't. You can't. And I pushed that with my big fat thumb. Which if I take my thumb and I don't know, bend it, it looks like I got real fat thumbs. Like there's just rolls, all these rolls. I don't know if anyone else has this in the world, but I literally have like Homer Simpson's face in my thumb. We're not, I don't know, my thumb shape has kind of changed. Maybe it was this one. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It kind of, maybe like some kind of mud monster. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So this is a continuation. I'm sorry if anyone was listening and I cut off. You're probably like, he probably just got shot. Black Lives Matter. God damn it. So I was talking about my neighbors. Guy's 6'8". He went to Iraq. We mowed his wife's lawn. Not a euphemism for a threesome. We got bats out of her house. Bats out of her cave. Not a euphemism. And, yeah, we did all sorts of stuff for her. They traded baby clothes back and forth. And he came back and everything got real fucking weird. Okay? So, before he left, we had some cats, and he came over and he's like, "Hey man, your cats are using my kid's sandbox as a litter box." He's like, "Can you do something about that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "They can't be in our house because they can't, be house trained." And, it just wasn't working. And so we were looking for a new home with them, and within a week, I'm doing air bunnies right now, air quotes, disappeared. And we're like, "Huh, that's suspicious," because they both disappeared at the same time. So fast forward like a year and a half later, we have 2 more cats. And these ones, they're pretty well house trained, but we'd let them outside from time to time. And they spent more time inside than out. And we left town, and lo and behold, our cats disappeared when we were out of town. So we're like, okay, something's going on. This is screwed up. Fast forward like probably a year and a half more. We have more cats. And these cats were not cats that we'd actually wanted. Oh, the last cats, we found out what was going on. The last cats he stole were when I was out of town for my mother's funeral. So we come back and our cats are just gone. Okay, so then fast forward like another year and a half. We have these 2 cats that the house next to us was abandoned, and this mom had her kittens inside the garage, and the garage had a big gap in the door, and they could easily go in and out. And so we caught these little cats, and we tamed them down because they were wild, and we had quite a few of them, and we found them homes, and we ended up with, again, 2 of them. And we were still kind of looking for homes for them and stuff. And they didn't like anybody but us. And they more or less stayed out of his yard. One of them started getting more curious, and she started going in there. Well, this guy has an 8-foot chain link fence around his yard. Oh, I forgot to mention that he also had 5 boxers in his house. And their reason for getting rid of the cats was because they didn't want their dogs to eat them or whatever. The funny part about the whole litter box thing is they say the cats are using their kids' sandboxes, litter boxes. 1, their kids never played in the sandbox, and 2, they ended up getting a second sandbox for their dogs to take shits in that they forced their children to walk around every day with a sack on their arm picking up dog shit, which I think is screwed up. You got 5 boxers in the house. At one point in time, they had a Great Dane. Clean up your own dog's crap, man. It's not right. Because, I mean, I'm talking little kids. They had a 4-year-old kid out there with a sack on their arm picking up big old turds. That's screwed up. So anyway, it finally came to a head. He started putting out, he got more brazen. He got bigger balls. Up until this time, he completely ignored us. He would not make eye contact. I'd look in his direction. He'd look away. And I actually recorded all this too, which I probably won't upload it. But anyway, I was out grilling food, and I look out there, and he's standing out there smoking a cigarette, and I see that there's a catch and alive trap there. And I'm just like, hey man, what's that? He's like, it's for your fucking cats. Like, flipped out. And I just kind of like let him go on for a little bit, and we got into it. And I called him a coward a few times because I was like, well, you know, you won't talk to me and stuff. And one of the other things they were mad about is I had an old 1981 Bronco, and someone's T-boned it. They jumped a curb and they T-boned it, and they moved it 4 inches onto his property while it wasn't running because I was trying to sell it, and I'm not mechanically inclined. And he said he was going to help me move it. Well, by the time he rented the tractor to help me move it, because he had some yard work to do, he decided he wasn't talking to me, so he just left it sit there. Called the cops, had them come deal with it. I ended up getting it sold. I got it running and I got it sold. So yeah. Anyway, back to the original story. He that was his like main complaint. Those two things was the cats and the other thing. And my girlfriend came outside and his wife came outside, and we're all four yelling at each other across this 8-foot tall chain link fence. And I put my steel toes on before I went outside because I was like, well, this guy's 6'8". I'm like, I need some kind of an advantage. And I might not sound like it, but I'm a spry little guy, and I've got some martial arts training. And I didn't want to fight him. I still don't. But if I had to, I would. And he ended up, the middle of my girlfriend talking, calls the cops. And I'm like, I sat there and I watched him. He's like, yeah, I need a police officer to, and then he said his address. And he's like, for a neighbor dispute? And I waited for him to hang up, and I was like, there's your problem. You always got to have someone else solve your problems. You're a fucking coward. And he turned around and walked inside. And keep in mind, this is a 6'8" tall man. 6'8" tall man. And I'm 5'7". And he called the cops on me. I'm trying to figure out this one still. So anyway, that's my crazy neighbor story. If you guys have any crazy neighbor stories that you want me to read or talk about, you can send them to me at Be More Well Prepared. Let me see. Hold on. Camera. No. So anyway, yeah. God damn it. Where'd it go? This is really annoying. I'm on my old phone trying to... Here we go. There it is. Boy, that was some thrilling content. I wish there was like a scrub 15 seconds back and delete button. Anyway, if you want to get a hold of me, you can at on Twitter at NoRegerts and if you want to email me something, 0regerts@gmail.com. And it's just regrets with the E and the R switched around because you don't want to regret a misspelling. You know what I mean? So anyway, those are the kind of the things I want to talk about. I went over my 15 minutes between these two podcasts. So I think I'm going to end it here. Yeah, you guys got any crazy stories? Tell me. Yeah, do one of those things. Send me comments and stuff, because I probably will do this, 10, 15 times at the most before I get discouraged and I cry like a little baby. And the other reason I'm going to go is because I need some water, because my voice is super hoarse. Alright guys, until next time, it's been good talking to you. Thank you for listening to the No Regrets podcast.